I never in my life thought I would make this much money. No one in my family, including my husband and my parents, no one actually thought I would be making this kind of money. And yes, I know it is important to believe in yourself and talk about how great you are and you were destined for wisdom ever since you were like pooping in your diapers. But the reality is I still live a thoroughly and exceptional life. And there are things that I've found that work in my business and I want to share those things with you, but I am in no means implying that that's the only way to do business. Hello, my darling persuasion nerds. This is Bushra Azhar, and I am here with you for another episode of the Persuasion Show. Now, this is the show where I teach you how to hack your way to rebuttal-proof arguments and back-button-proof websites. But sometimes in this show, a lot of the times in this show, I also shell out business advice that doesn't really have much, I won't say anything to do because there still has a lot to do with psychology, but it's not really hardcore psychology lesson. Instead, it's more of a hardcore BS-free business lesson. And I feel really strongly about BS-free businesses not because I'm some sort of a business tycoon, but because I am not some sort of a business tycoon. I'm someone who just started her business in 2014. I'm not terribly old myself, even though my kids think I'm 100 plus, but also because I am kind of sick and tired of the same old advice. And really the very first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to business advice is that there is no one size fits all. What I'm sharing with you is what I have experienced, what I have tested and have found to be super, super, super effective. I never in my life thought I would make this much money. No one in my family, including my husband and my parents, no one actually thought I would be making this kind of money. And yes, I know it is important to believe in yourself and talk about how great you are and you were destined for wisdom ever since you were like pooping in your diapers. But the reality is I still live a thoroughly and exceptional life. And there are things that I've found that work in my business and I want to share those things with you, but I am in no means implying that that's the only way to do business. All I'm saying is that I want to dispel all the myths that are in business when people talk about this and think, oh, that's the only way you do it and everything else is just a big fat lie. So yeah, that was my rant. But one of the things that I hear thrown around a lot on the internet, and not just on the internet, I see that in my group as well. So my group is really, I like to think that there is a lot of freedom of speech in my group. I like to think of my group as a democracy. But yeah, apparently democracy isn't the best solution for human beings. But anyway, and I see this view thrown around a lot in my group, which is, oh, if you want to make money online, the only way to do that is to go premium. If you want people to respect you, the only way to do that is to go premium. If you want people to see you as someone they value, if you want them to see you as someone they should place value on, you should not sell yourself cheap. The only way to do that is to go premium. And I hear that a lot. And I respect that. I respect that these are the results that you got. But I want to share my perspective. And I'm going to share with you a very specific story on how I made my first $100,000 from all of my products under $50. And all of this in, wait for it, 9 months. So if I can make $100,000 in 9 months with products under $50, it does tell you that it is possible to do all of this and not go premium, right? And I like to think people respect me. You respect me. You're watching this. Hopefully you respect me and you're not just watching it so you can make fun of me. Don't do that. Don't be a shit muffin. Yeah. Okay. Please. Yeah. I don't like that. Yeah. Or you can laugh at me as long as you share it or watch it because then I will retarget you and the joke will still be on you. Okay, now back to the point. So what I want to share with you is the product breakdown of my own business, on how I created the first $100,000 in my business just by using products under $50. And one of these products was actually $7. So I'm not just saying $50 is like the max. I'm talking about the fact that it is totally doable. And I just want to kind of keep your brain open about for other opportunities, for other options. So let's talk about the very first product. So I started my business in July of 2014. From July till October, I did not create a product. I was working one-on-one with people. So in October, I created my first product. It was a joint venture with another person. It was a product that was called 3-Day 3K. It was a really simple mini training that allowed people to create really kick-ass, super high converting landing pages. And I brought in the element of the copy and the words and the conversion elements, and the person that I joint ventured with, she brought in the element of the design element, right? The design and the images and the headers and how to kind of design your design your landing page. It was a $47 product, and we sold 320 spots. Now, before you jump in and say, oh, you sold 320 spots, I could never sell 320 spots, that's because you had a massive list. I had a list of 1,300 people at that point. Only 1,300 people. And the person that I collaborated with most likely also had about the same number. So we're not talking about a massive list. We're also not talking about any expenses. I think we spent about $100 on Facebook ads. Barely we could muster enough courage to spend those $100. This was all done to our lists or social media networks, so free social media, mostly Facebook actually, and 320 packages for $47. This means that we had a 15,000, the total sales were 15,040. So only $15,000 from the very first product. I was over the moon. The fact that I made this much money online, doing something, selling something that took me probably 2 or 3 or 4 hours to put together, it was like freaking unbelievable to me. And to this date, I haven't figured out why we killed that product, because I think it was a great product. I think it would have sold a lot more, but no, it is not up for sale. So don't go looking for it. It's not up for sale. Look at me being all modest and I'm so inflated with a sense of self-importance. Don't go looking for it, as I'm assuming you will go looking for it. Don't. Would you? Would you go looking for it? Oh my God, I'm so humbled. But yeah, don't, because it's not open for sale. Okay, so that was October 2014. November 2014, I created something called the Big Black Beautiful Deal, and I released it on Black Friday. So the Big Black Beautiful Deal had 3 trainings, again, 3 mini trainings: sales pages, about pages, and autoresponders, email sequence. And I sold it for $39 on Black Friday. So it was up for about 48 hours or 72 hours, one of these. And it was for $39. And I sold, when I offered it for $39, I sold how many? I need to look at the numbers. I sold about 200 of those at $39 in that 48 to 72 hour window, right? At this time, I used a little bit of Facebook ads. So my list had also grown a little bit by now, but I also used a little bit of Facebook ads. And I'm not saying a lot, but I think I spent about under $500, right? And I made $7,800 just on that Black Friday. Now I was on a roll. I was like, oh my God, this is great. So then I took the same Big Black Beautiful Deal and converted it into, kind of repackaged it as Persuasion Quickies. So same thing, same 3 trainings, same 3 mini trainings, but now I priced it at $49. And those $49 quickies that I had up, I sold them mostly through my own email list, through my own kind of free social media networks. But I also had, at that point, I also put together a Facebook campaign. Now, the way the Facebook campaign worked was that it basically took people to a freebie, and then from the freebie, I sent them about 5 to 7 emails asking them to check out the Persuasion Quickies. I ended up selling, I have to tell you when I stopped. So I had to kill the quickies when I launched Mass Persuasion Method, but while quickies were alive, while quickies were alive and kicking, I sold almost 1,000. Actually, I think a little over 1,000, but I'll round it off to 1,000. I sold about 1,000 of those Persuasion Quickies. So that's about $49,000 for a product that is only $49. And yes, there were a few people who bought, so there were 3 trainings. You could buy $19.95 each, 3, or you could just buy the bundle. But mostly 90% of the people actually opted for the $49 product for 3 trainings. Now, I want to take a moment here and stop and share a strategy with you. If you have a low ticket item, then a great way to scale it, a great way to get a lot of people in, is to convert your first 100, 200 buyers into your affiliates. So a lot of these people who got in, who bought quickies, were because people who bought it in this beginning, they got such great results that they were affiliates, so they started basically talking about it. And when they talked about it, their friends came, and then they bought, and then they become affiliates. So it had a kind of ripple effect. I did not do a typical affiliate offer where you ask these high-end people with 10,000 email list and ask them to become affiliates. Instead, I made my own buyers into affiliates, and I think that was the smartest thing I could do, because if you have a great product, and it is an impulse buy, so anything under $50, it is an impulse buy. They don't need to ask their husband or their wife or their partner or their spouse or their mom they don't need to get their approval. They can go ahead and buy it on their own because the price is, the price is low. So if you have a product that is impulse buy and it is a great product, do consider converting your first early adopters, the first 100, 200 people, convert them into affiliates. Now, I gave them a 50% affiliate fee, which is a lot, which may seem like a lot, but I think of it this way. The people that they brought in, they would have never heard of me if it had not been for the people who had promoted me. And I think that was the smartest thing I did. You should totally do that. The next product that I released was in March 2015. March 2015, I created something called the Persuasion Hacks Lab. Now, the Persuasion, and by the way, before you guys, there was a failed product in the middle from December till March. There was a failed product. I'm not talking about that because it's a failed product, right? So yeah, not talking about that. But yeah, I don't like to dwell on my mistakes. But no, really, because it doesn't serve the purpose. But anyway, March 2015, I came up with Persuasion Hacks Lab. It was a membership site. And when I opened the gates to Persuasion Hacks Lab, I offered memberships for $7.95 for the first month. And I did everything that I could do to get the word out for this. I ran Facebook ads. I did a ton of webinars. And I hear this a lot where people are like, oh, do I need to do a webinar? Do I need to do a launch for a $20 product? And I'm like, I did 5 days of consecutive webinars for a $7.95 product. If you are going to do a launch, don't tie it to how much your product costs. Instead, tie it to your goals. If you want to sell a lot of something, then do a launch. Get the word out. Do these webinars. Show up on these interviews. Talk about it everywhere because you want to sell a lot. If you want to sell a little, your goal is like 10 spots, then it doesn't really matter. Honestly, you can just sell it with an email. But I really wanted to kind of get that word out. I really wanted to my target was to get 400 new members in March. And I got those 400 members in 28 days, not in the full month of March. I got those in 28 days. So that was 3,188 just for the first month. Now, the next month, I did not go all in. I did not go crazy, continue launching the Persuasion Hacks Lab, but people still kept coming in. So when we closed, when we moved on to April and then May and then June, I was at about 600 members at $14.95 per month. So 600 members at $14.95 for 3 months. I want to finish at June so I can give you the 9-month view. That's about 26,910. So all of these, the total is $101,938. 100K in 9 months for products under $50. One of these products being $7.95. So again, this is a very global number. This is a very kind of global calculation. The numbers might be a little bit up and down. Maybe I think we had a few cancellations. We probably had a few refunds. But overall, the point that I'm trying to make is that if you think you can only make 6 figures or scale your business or establish yourself as an authority, you can only do that if you sell premium. I'm here to tell you that that's bloody wrong. That's a bloody lie. And don't listen to those people, but also don't listen to me. Don't listen to anyone. Just take what clicks for you. Take what you feel like, oh, it could work for my business. It could work for me. It could work for, this seems like the kind of thing I would want to try out, and then go and try it out. No one is going to ask you to do anything unless you actually do it. No one can actually do the thing for you. You got to do it. So don't listen to me. Don't listen to anyone else. Just listen to all the advice that is out there. take what you think, what excites you, take the thing that you feel like, oh, I could see myself doing it. This could really work for me. And then go try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. What's the worst that can happen? I had a failed launch. I had a few failed launches, but that's fine. That's fine. That's part of life. That's part of business. But don't listen to anyone who tells you this is it. This is the only thing you got to do, because there is no one size fits all. If I wanted to do one size fits all, if I wanted to do play by the rules, I would still be in corporate. I would not be doing my own shit. The reason I'm doing my own shit is so I can do my own thing, right? Okay, yeah, I got a little hyper there, but you know what I mean. So this was my piece of advice from today. I'm going to see you real soon with another episode of the Persuasion Show. In the meantime, you gotta find me somewhere on the internet and let me know how great I am, because I have a really low self-esteem and I need people to constantly tell me how great I am. So thank you for doing that. Also leave a review on iTunes, because I love those reviews. Also go check out the Persuasion Show. Oh my God, that was like too much. You know what? Don't go check out the Persuasion Show. Don't get a copy of The Ultimate Guide to Persuasion. Just don't. Or maybe you should. Take the advice that works for you. That was great. I will see you real soon with another episode. You take care.